All right, whenever you're ready, Angela. Hello, Miss Grace. Okay. All righty. Hello, everybody. I'm Joyce Burgess. I'm the CEO and co-founder, along with my husband, Eric, of the National Black Home Educators. The National Black Home Educators is an organization that empowers parents to educate their children for excellence. The National Black Home Educators was born because my husband and I have homeschooled all 7 of our children for almost 30 years. And we graduated our last daughter in 2012. So we are very, very pleased at what homeschooling has done across the nation. Of the, say, maybe about 300 million homeschoolers in our country today, and of course with everything that's going on, and we're just going to use the word everything that's going on and try not to use the names of what's happening now. But with everything that's going on, I know that homeschooling has increased probably by 1,000%. Either parents have decided, I just want to dedicate myself to homeschooling, or they're in some kind of virtual or distance learning platform. But whatever the case is, the National Black Home Educators is here to assist those parents who have chosen or who find themselves thrust into a situation where they are now at the forefront of their children's education. And that's super important because we really don't know where we're going to be in the future. And I think about 2 years ago is when I met Angela Valentine, who was, okay, we've got to get, her attitude was, we've got to move into the technology. We've got to move into this digital mindset. And we had no idea that we would be thrust into a position where this is where we are now. This is the new normal. So the National Black Home Educators is here to assist parents. And with that assisting, we have partnered with organizations who come on board who feel just as passionate about parents being on the front line as we do. And these organizations and companies want to help, want to offer their absolute best academically, educationally, so that parents will have options as it relates to how they are strategizing and personalizing their children's education. So having said that, if you would like to get in touch with the National Black Home Educators, the email address is contact@nbhe.net. Our web address is www.nbhe.net. Please check us out. I would like to introduce my wonderful friend and colleague, the smartest woman in the universe, Miss Angela Valentine, who is a Google certified trainer. And later on, she will tell you a little bit more about that. So I'm going to stop right now. Angela, please give us about 30 seconds of who you are, and then we will subsequently go with everyone else. So welcome aboard. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this great connection, this wonderful opportunity. Angela?
Yes, hello everyone. I'm so delighted to be at the table with you guys. This is so exciting for me, but my name is Angela Valentine. I am a Google for Education certified trainer. So I have spent the last 3 or 4 years working with the K through 12 school system, supporting teachers as they integrate technology into the classroom. And through that, when Google made the announcement that they were opening to homeschools, the first thing I did was picked up the phone and called Joyce. So we have been fast friends and colleagues ever since then. So also, in addition to that, a little bit more, just a little bit, I am a college instructor with the local community college here in Chicago, and I am a new homeschool mom. So all of that wrapped up into one. I'm delighted to bring whatever expertise I can to this conversation. So thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Sheila, please take it from here with
Absolutely.
your team.
Hi, my name is Sheila Jones. I'm the director of homeschool at Grand Canyon University. We have a program called the Alpha Program, which National Black Home Educators is now a part of, a participant of. And Alpha stands for Alliance Program for Homeschool Advancement. So we've been loving on homeschool here at GCU way before it was cool. We're proud to say that. I was hired to advocate for homeschool and homeschool groups and associations. We absolutely love these kids on our campus. They're world changers and we're happy to have them. So it's my job to reach out and to let groups like National Black Home Educators know all the opportunities that we have for homeschoolers. Daniel works with us. He is one of our homeschool specific counselors. So we have about 8 homeschool specific counselors planted around the United States. They know the exact sort of things that you guys are working on, the special, unique opportunities and needs that families that homeschool have. So go ahead and introduce yourself, Daniel.
Hello, everyone. My name is Daniel Valentine. I am a university admissions counselor with Grand Canyon University, and I work solely and specifically with our homeschool families. My job is to inform and support homeschool families and let them know about all the wonderful opportunities we have available here at Grand Canyon University. My job is to work with students in the Midwest and the East Coast. So I have, all those Midwest states, so the Michigans, the Wisconsins, Minnesotas, and then literally almost the entire East Coast, all the way up from Maine to Florida. And so I do a lot of work with dealing with homeschool families, and I'm really excited because GCU has been on the forefront of advocating and allowing homeschool students to come to college and get a quality education. And so I'm really excited. I love homeschool students so much so that I have a job, and I'm really proud to say that because I get to work specifically with homeschool students. And so I'm excited to be here today. Thank you.
And we have Donald Glenn also on the call today. He is the director of our multicultural office. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Donald.
Hello, everyone. My name is Donald Glenn, and as Sheila said, I direct the Multicultural Diversity and Inclusion department here at Grand Canyon University. Our office is charged with really just bringing culture and awareness to campus and to present opportunities where students can understand one another and really just promote civil discourse. And that's kind of what we mainly focus on, and bringing the campus together, supporting the 90 plus countries that are represented here on campus and many more cultures. So yeah, that's a little bit about me and what I do here. Also, I will mention also we have Grace on the call. She is the diversity specialist for the university. She works in our office and manages our student leader team, and also helps with other administrative roles here in the office.
Wonderful. Great to meet you, Grace. So as part of the Alpha program, I just want to review really quickly, essentially being a part of the Alpha program, like National Black Home Educators is, allows you guys opportunity for scholarships on our campus, specific homeschool scholarships, which is awesome. We're hoping to grow our scholarship reach too as we get to know each other and find opportunities to offer to your families and your groups. We also have a lot of wonderful things that we do for our homeschool groups around the nation. We do live lessons, live tours. We fly kids in for free to check out our campus. Just a lot of really wonderful opportunities that comes along with being an Alpha participant. So we're going to go a little bit into kind of college 101 and what it looks like for a homeschooler to go to college. But as we grow the program with National Black Home Educators, I have a kind of a sky's the limit sort of feel on what we can do with each other. So Daniel, do you want to start talking to and kind of reviewing like why we love these homeschoolers and why we would want them here at GCU?
Absolutely, absolutely. So I would love to coin the phrase that GCU is one of the most homeschool friendly universities in the country. It's not copyrighted or anything, but I really believe that because what we do at GCU is we make sure that our homeschool students are fully supported. So at most universities, especially universities our size, it takes a long time to get back admissions decisions. You can be waiting 3 months, 4 months, even 6 months if you wait to apply after a certain deadline. At GCU, that is not the experience. We have a very intentional, intimate admissions process. What that means is each homeschool student gets a counselor that is homeschool specific, right? So my job is to support homeschool families. I don't go to traditional high schools. I don't even do the traditional college fairs. I only work with homeschool students. And it goes to show the intentional effort that GCU is providing to support these homeschool families. We found that there was a gap, that there was a lot of homeschool students who are getting misleading information, who did not even understand that they could go to a university with their homeschool transcript and graduating from a homeschool academic experience. I've heard things, I've had questions like, do I have to get a GED? Do I have to go to traditional school my senior year? And all of these things that we find that has been a barrier for homeschool families. And I think GCU, we are trying to do a great job at debunking these myths, at working through and passing through these barriers. And I just want to say that homeschool students are fully welcome. GCU, we do accept homeschool transcripts. So all you need to do is have a homeschool transcript for admissions in Grand Canyon University. All right. So what that means is throughout your matriculation in homeschool, we're going to need the transcript to show your freshman to senior year of academic grades, right? And so we do grades on the 4.0 GPA scale. So we have weighted and unweighted. We do accept dual enrollment, Clep, and a lot of opportunities that a lot of homeschool students participate in. One of the biggest opportunities that we provide at GCU is dual enrollment, and especially a lot of homeschool students are really taking advantage of our dual enrollment program. We have one of the cheapest dual enrollment programs that you can find. We're really proud about our dual enrollment program. It is fully accredited because Grand Canyon University is fully accredited by the Higher Learning Commission. And so what that means is your credits are transferable, not just at GCU, but throughout the country. All right, so some of the largest, most popular universities in the country are accredited by the Higher Learning Commission, and GCU is a part of that phenomenal bunch. And so we do a lot of great things. And then, so just on the admissions criteria, we're looking at a 3.0 GPA for admissions into Grand Canyon University. The average student has about a 3.5, and I will be willing to bet that the average homeschool students is a little even higher than that 3.5. A lot of our homeschool students are able to participate in our honors programs and even is eligible for our top scholarships. And one of the most things that I find that our homeschool families are really proud about when it comes to GCU, and which makes them really confident, is that GCU is a test optional school. Yes, I said it. Test optional. So you can get full admissions with scholarship into Grand Canyon University without taking the SAT or the ACT. We do give full admissions and acceptances based on the GPA, and that GPA will be reviewed. So once you have your transcript, you submit it, fill out the application. GCU will review the transcript, even if it's a homeschool transcript, and even to the point. And just when I talk about the intentionality of what our homeschool team is doing, if there is a parent who may have never created a transcript before, which we have seen, especially in the homeschool realm, this is their first time, this is their first high school student, we have the ability and have the time to do one-on-one transcript development sessions. And with your organization being a part of our Alpha Alliance, that is one of the opportunities we provide to our homeschool Alpha groups. So we will do a transcript development session for you and really break down how to create the transcript. Of course, we won't create it for you, but we will show you a lot of tips and tricks that work really well for our students and that works really well for the admissions side of GCU.
Can you give them a bite of the worst case scenario scholarship that you would get at GCU?
Absolutely. So so what we do here at GCU is we have scholarship tables. All of our scholarship tables can be found on our website at gcu.edu. But what happens is we do our merit-based scholarships based off of GPA and test scores. So I did tell you that GCU is a test optional university, but for students who have taken the SAT or the ACT, you are eligible if your score meets the requirements to get certain scholarships based on your scores. Okay. And so what we do at GCU is for our merit-based scholarships, we give you the scholarship based on your highest score or GPA. So for example, if your GPA is higher, we'll give you the scholarship for that GPA, right? But if your SAT or ACT is on a higher scholarship line on the table, we'll give you the scholarship based on whichever the higher score is. And at the lowest level at GCU, we're looking at the Antelope Scholarship, which is $2,900 renewable, right? So one of the unique things about GCU is all of our merit-based scholarships starting at the freshman year is renewable. And that's one thing that a lot of students do not consider when they're looking for universities or when they're getting these award letters and they're getting these scholarships their freshman year. The main question is, are they renewable? Will you receive that scholarship your sophomore, junior, and senior year? And at GCU, you will. And then we're looking at from the lowest at 2,900, and then the highest, which is for a 4.0 unweighted GPA or 1,500 ACT or 33 SAT, is our Chancellor Award. And that is our top scholarship, which a lot of homeschool students do receive. And that's the $9,400 scholarship, renewable each year at GCU for 4 years. And we do have multiple scholarships in between our lowest, between the Antelope and the Chancellor, but we have a lot of great opportunities here at GCU. And then we also have scholarships in terms of being a part of our Alpha groups. We do have a scholarship for Alpha members. So for students who are a part of your organization and they want to attend GCU, there is an additional scholarship that we are able to give just because they're part of your organization. And that's something we're also really excited about. And so we definitely would love to talk more. And so I'm here for any more scholarship or admissions questions.
Yep, and we don't have any fee for our admissions documents that you guys would fill out. That there's no charge for any of that. And we also have early registration scholarships, honors scholarships. Typically in most universities, your freshman year is your cheapest year, and it's sort of flip-flopped at GCU. We try to make the freshman year, well, but the freshman year is usually a little more expensive because the next year kids can get into leading Bible studies and events and activities on campus, which gives them scholarships. We have a lot of student leadership opportunities which pay scholarships. So typically our freshman year might be a little bit more expensive, but once the kids get involved, all these scholarships will fall into their lap, which is a wonderful opportunity. And again, all are renewable, which is a wonderful opportunity. I'd love for Donald to give us a bite of GCU's culture and what it looks like on our campus.
Absolutely. So like I mentioned in my introduction, we have about 90 different countries that are represented here on campus, which makes for a very diverse community, a very large international population. And of that, we work with several different culture and inclusion clubs. Here on campus currently, we have an African Student Association, a Black Student Union. We have a Philippine Student Association. We have a Pacific Islander student group, Hispanic club, Spanish club. We have an International Student Club, a Latin Student Union, and a Native American student club. And so all of these groups we work with on a weekly basis or a monthly basis, some of them weekly. They're participating in a particular event that we're doing that month. And we've just recently started two groups in addition to our student leadership team. and that they are the core team, which is the Coalition for Racial Equality. Our team generally focuses on culture. We focus on diversity, education, awareness, and that group is a volunteer group that works with our office, and they mainly function to have conversations about racial reconciliation, what is implicit bias, what is restorative justice, and how do we apply that within our office. Also oversee the equity office, which takes in many of the grievances and different things that the institution sees. And we take a much different approach. We try to be restorative in how we deal with students and educate them and bring them to good standing. But yeah, we have a very unique opportunity here because GCU, I mean, I've been a professional, I've preached all across the country, and this place I find it to be one of the most diverse spaces that I have had the privilege to work in, not just in our student body, but even in our faculty, and just sitting around the table and being able to hear the different perspectives, and work through those and develop understanding. And it's just been a great experience for me personally. Um, in addition to some of the other things that we have, that we do monthly culture events. So you're going to see our office, a student will see our office participate in, well, let's start with the first thing we did this semester, which is the One Love Awareness Walk. And that was basically to bring awareness to our office. We kind of transitioned from an office to a department this past year, and we were able to have more jurisdiction over what we can do on campus. And so more influence, and that gave us a unique opportunity to be able to speak into not just student engagement where we were in student facing programs, but also to work with athletics and to work with academics and to work with, I mean, so many different areas on campus. And I think I have a presentation tomorrow, and I'm talking about basically all of the participants that we've had this semester and all of the things that we've done. I want to make mention that what we do is we try to have a biblical foundation. Everything we do, we center it on the gospel, because who can argue with that? And we try to make sure that we present diversity through the lens of Christ and through his eyes. And that's kind of where we as an office, we kind of, we promote this idea of a stained glass window, where people are coming from all over, different shapes, different sizes, different colors, different textures coming together. And if you were to look at all of those things in their own separate areas, it might not look as beautiful. But when you pull those pieces together and begin to make an image, it makes something beautiful. And what I have told many people on campus is when you see the sun, the sun, shine through those pieces, the imagery that you see is just something awe striking. And I say the same thing when we come together, different shapes, different sizes, different colors, different backgrounds, and the SON begins to shine through us. It makes something beautiful. And so that's, the beauty of GCU. It really truly is. It's what makes this place so wonderful. And, like I said, we get to work with so many different departments. So one of the things we advocated for is programs of study to make sure that the curriculum is something that, and so one of the things that we do is at this point in time, there is no specific African American studies or Hispanic studies. We have worked on that this year, and at the beginning next fall, we will have a Hispanic studies and African American studies programs, as there'll be minors. But throughout the program, in the curriculum of all the various programs that we offer, there's different classes that will focus on maybe global diversity, or it focuses on diversity and helps them in their different respective disciplines to have that knowledge as we are preparing them, as our mission says, to be the global citizens. So we want to make sure that our office is supporting that, and holding different areas accountable as well. So we're working together and building better partnerships than ever before, and it's just exciting, as I said, to see all of these things unfold. And I've told you about the clubs. I've told you about our Diversity Alliance. One thing that I did not mention is it's a Minority Excellence Network, and we started a pilot this semester. And basically, what it is right now it's just young men on campus, Black men on campus that are getting together. But we are going to expand after this pilot to we have some female faculty that's interested in being mentors, and so we have maybe about 21 students that are involved right now. But we're going to expand that. We had to limit it because I just wanted to make sure it was going to work before we went public with it. But it worked well. And so we've got a lot of faculty and staff that are mentors that would take groups of 10 or so. And that way students, if they encounter issues or need help or need guidance on who to go to, who to talk to, they have a direct line of communication. And then they can get connected to our office, and then we can do what we need to do from there to help or advocate or support that student. So there's a lot of programs that we're building to make sure that we are being supportive and collaborating with different departments. Those are really our core values: collaboration, education, competency. We want to make sure we have a competent campus that when they leave here, they'll be prepared and ready to go into a workforce. And one of the great things that I think that we're starting to do, even with that men's group, is bring on Black professionals. A lot of students, minority students, don't see or have not seen many Black professionals, and so we brought in Black doctors, lawyers, some of the top physicians here in the city, politicians, and help them. One of the sessions we did this fall was Pathways to Success, how they and they're just sharing their story, that as a Black professional, the struggles that they had to get to where they're at, and just handing out the advice and wisdom. So that's there's a lot of good things that are happening, a lot of good programs that we're starting. CORE is another great thing, as I mentioned. And in fact, CORE is hosting a Transformative Justice Summit this spring. We'll be doing probably several sessions. And it's just really an opportunity to test out and see, am I biased? And where are my biases at? Because we all have blind spots, and we're just trying to develop and help people see and support them in that way. So we got a lot going on. So I know that was a lot. If you have questions, I'd be happy to answer any of those questions.
Sounds good. Grace, did you have anything to add?
I think Donald said a lot. Sorry that I'm cutting in and out. I had some students come in, so probably can't talk for long. But thank you for asking. Yeah, I think Donald hit all the good points. We're doing CORE and MIN, the network, and we host a lot of events that are very informative. We want just the general public of GCU students and faculty and staff to be aware that we have several different cultures here, and we just want to showcase that and see that it's beautiful and it's not scary to be diverse. It's actually a wonderful thing. So that's mostly what our office is trying to do.
Got it. Anything else from you, Daniel? I was just going to touch on our Spring Forward program for our seniors, that any family associated with National Black Home Educators would have an opportunity for. We know that this year has been an adventure, and we wanted to bless our high school seniors this spring. So we're offering them a free dual enrollment class. I think there's about 10 classes they can choose from. And that would all happen because of our connection with National Black Home Educators. So just a wonderful opportunity, highly transferable classes. We have English, communications, history, all different options that you can take. It is the same college class that our college kids take, except it would be free for seniors. We just thought we'd try to shine a little light on the adventures of 2020 and hopefully help them jump a little bit farther ahead with some college credits. So that's an opportunity that we have, which you can reach out to Joyce on that, and we can help get you all set up. So if you guys have any questions for us, you're welcome to email us at homeschool@gcu.edu. And if you have questions for Donald or Grace or Daniel, I can funnel those all off for you. It's a box that all of the homeschool counselors have access to, and we all share and dive in and help on. So homeschool@gcu.edu. We also have a GCU Homeschool Admissions Facebook page. It is a private page, but feel free to ask to join it. I'll pop you in. I put scholarships on there. I put opportunities like this dual enrollment, just anything I can do to help homeschool jump ahead in the world. I put stuff on there. So I would love to share that with you guys. And that's kind of it. We just love these kids. We love how, you know, in love with the Lord they are. We love that they're self-starters. They're really shining on our campus. They're just, if we could custom make a student for our university, the homeschool students definitely fit that piece. So we're just so thankful to have you guys and to serve you where you're at. We have online and on campus options. So if you don't want to leave home, we still have a lot of options and over 250 academic programs to choose from.
Okay, that's really good. And I've enjoyed what I've heard so far. And I know Angela has enjoyed it as well. We've also shared this link on our social media pages. So we may have people joining in, but for sure it's being recorded and we're just going to share it everywhere. Our website, we're going to put it on social media. But I do have a few specific questions I would like to ask. Well, I really want you guys to address. Number one, is, you remember we talked about the value of college. You know, why is it important to go to college still? You know, is it still necessary? The next question is, in our planning conversation, Daniel mentioned something about debunking certain myths, and I would love you to address that. And Donald, if you don't mind addressing about curriculum, I heard you mention earlier that while there may not be yet curriculum specifically curated and designed for the African-American experience as it relates to across the board, all the subjects. And I used some examples in our planning session like music and visiting negrospirituals.com or africlassical.com to get those rich African Americans, different music on all different genres. You know, how close or how can we expect that kind of curriculum presentations to our families? Because as you know, we all have blind spots and some things have been hidden for so long as it relates to the African American culture. And, how soon will that conversation or, the college want to do something like that? And then the last thing was, oh my goodness. I think that may have been the last thing that I wanted to ask and that we address to make within the time that we have left to make sure that we address the value of college, debunking some of those dispositions, and then the curriculum.
Absolutely. And I guess I'll start off. And just when we consider debunking things about education, specifically with homeschool education, number one, I think one of the common misconceptions that I get is that homeschool students have to graduate from a traditional high school to get into college. Not true. Or you have to get a GED to get into college. Not true at all. Or that when you say you graduated from homeschool, um, it doesn't really mean anything, and they have to figure out all of these external methods or different things they may have to pay for, or finding certain things to do to make sure that they have graduated on the traditional standpoint from a high school or so whatever, and that's not true. One of the things that we really do, and the reason why my job I feel so important in the midst of homeschool families, is because honestly, as long as you are meeting all of the graduation requirements within your state, you are a high school graduate. And homeschool is completely legal, right? Like homeschool is completely legal. So you are within your rights to homeschool your child, and you do not have to feel pressured to send them back to traditional school. What you're doing is good and it is working. GCU has had some of the best homeschool students literally take over our campus, like take it by storm. And like Ms. Sheila said, that literally from our president of the university, Mr. Brian Mueller, on down, homeschool students is like the ideal student at GCU. And so I definitely will be more, because of time constraints, I don't want to go too far into it, but definitely be more than willing to, even if we wanted to just go down the list of debunking some of the myths behind homeschooling, I definitely more willing. And then when we talk about the relevancy of education, I think it's undeniable that we are in a crazy climate, especially in terms of the job market. And so things are becoming more competitive. Things are becoming more in depth. Information is constantly changing. And one of the things that GCU is doing intentionally is making sure that all of our programs are industry focused, right? So when versus just like a traditional liberal art kind of education, our GCU's curriculum, the way our classes are structured, are more intentional about focusing on the industry that you're interested in working in. So that's why out of the 200 plus degree programs, all of our programs are industry focused, right? So we don't have random fluff majors that you're going to wonder and hope and pray and wish and on getting a job afterwards. At GCU, we are focused on providing internships and networking opportunities for students to succeed after they graduate, right? So at GCU, we are so focused on getting students out of GCU, even early, right? Like, so a lot of our students are graduating in 3.5 years. And that is our focus because we want our students to be global citizens in the workforce and out in the world, and not just on campus. And so the relevance of education is undeniable, especially from homeschool students who have so much information and you have worked hard to master the academia that you've partaken in your entire life. And we at JCU want to provide an additional educational experience so that you can just push it out to the world. And so that's something we're really proud about. And even when I consider the class sizes, so GCU is a relatively large university. We have we're looking at over 20,000 students on ground campus, and that number triples when you consider our online students, right? And so for a university our size, we're talking Division I athletics, we're talking, 10 plus dorms on campus, we're talking like a relatively large school. We do not focus on the lecture style of teaching. We are looking at small class sizes. We're really focusing on making sure students are guaranteed that intentional learning experience.
What about Clep? Did you address that?
Yes, we do accept Clep testing. Yes. So, because I know a lot of homeschool students, when we're considering these test options or when we're considering dual enrollment, AP, Clep, GCU does accept Clep testing for credit.
Gotcha. Okay. Um, Curriculum possibility for well-rounded African American experience.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, we don't currently, but starting in the fall of 21, we will have an African American Studies and Hispanic Studies minor that you can take as a part of your program. Now, again, throughout all of the disciplines that are currently available, there is that experience that helps, our students be global citizens and understand this thing called diversity and inclusion and helps them understand it. But as far as our co-curricular things, that's where we come, that's where our office really comes in and is a support to the institution and our student body and our faculty and staff. Actually met with an entire college yesterday, College of Fine Arts and their dance program and their students.
Right.
So we work with, it depends on, what's needed. I know our office, well, I met with the band. I did several presentations with our band. Our hope is to one day start a gospel choir, because I know you mentioned spirituals. That's kind of my background too, because I teach, I have my undergrad is in music education. So I've taught music classes and taught hymns and spirituals and all of that. But co-curricularly, that's where we kind of come in and help with some of the things that you have mentioned and just bringing that culture to campus, and then working with the different student groups, the Black Student Union, the ASA, creating the Minority Excellence Network. That's why those pieces were very important to me. And so we as a co-curricular program to the institution, we kind of step in and provide and offer various services and programs.
Well, that's what I've been
And then
doing.
also to address,
Go ahead.
oh no,
Go ahead.
go ahead.
No, I was just saying
I
that
was
that's
just
something
gonna say,
Go ahead. It's on you.
I was just going to add that the value of education and why it's so important, again, because this space is so diverse, you and our classroom sizes are small, they're small enough that you can have these dialogues and these conversations and learn from each other's
That's right.
diversity of thought. That to me is the value, because really you could go home, and I've said it before, you could take books and spend your days in the library and probably learn just as much, if not more, in the library if you were that dedicated. But what you miss is the interaction and this dialogue and these opportunities to learn from other people, and that's what the true value, I think, of higher education is. And that's why I've continued from my, I've been in school since I was 5 years old. and I just love education, and I encourage everyone to keep going. Don't just quit at your undergrad, get a graduate degree and go for that doctorate degree, because there is a value. There is a value in being able to have these dialogues and challenge your mind and challenge the people that are around you to think differently. One of our outcomes, we talk about co-curricular, one of our co-curricular outcomes for all the students that matriculate through our program is that they would be able to have perspective taking, that they'd be able to just look at and listen to somebody else and be able to take something away. And maybe everything you won't agree with, but you take in the meat and spit out the bones, and you
Right.
continue moving forward and you learn through the journey, because that's what life is about. It's about the journey. And so, yeah, that to me is the value of attending a school like GCU and following into higher education.
Well, one of the conversations years past, and I still think it's a very old conversation now, and lately, with everything that's happened over the last several months, you've not heard it. It's what about socialization,
Mm-hmm.
where homeschool families are, homeschool children. And homeschool children are some, like Daniel was saying earlier, we're innovative, we're self-starters, and we're so creative, and, we're running our own businesses now. And, really a lot of those myths are very antiquated, because homeschooling now is so sophisticated. I know from my family, we're in the third generation of homeschooling. My children who have grandchildren now, I have an older son who has grandchildren, and he and his wife, they're homeschooling their grandchildren now. So, those conversations are so old and just so antiquated. But I am very, very glad that we've had this conversation. I would love to set up other conversations with possibly some of you in the very, very near future. I think this is a rocket that we definitely need to get off the ground and get it going. I'm very excited. And the National Black Home Educators, we don't do anything unless we are super, super passionate about it. And, I'm the litmus test here. It's really got to pass me, and, as a CEO and co-founder. But I'm so passionate, and one of the things I regret is that we're unable to visit, because Angela and I would take the next train out, or the jet plane out of here. She'd leave Chicago in a minute, and I'd leave Louisiana, and we'd come and visit the college, because you guys have just really opened up this love for your university, and we can't wait to see it when the time is right. So unless we have any other concerns, any other conversations, this is an ongoing conversation. I probably want to come back next week if we can. If we can come back, not next week, I'm sorry, that's Christmas. Merry Christmas to everybody. But maybe the week of January 1, we can come back the first week in January and maybe have another 30 to 45-minute conversation about something else, and to really just dissect even more, to make it more appealing to our families. I can't wait to put this out there so that they can take a look at it. This is also going to be on our website, and maybe you can put it on your website, but we're going to put it on our social media pages. I'm going to send it in my e-letter, because I want parents to be empowered. We really want to, and if we can empower these parents to be passionate about education, about educating their children, and make them feel, because I feel like I can chase a bear with a stick. I live in the middle of the woods, and I'm always chasing possums and armadillos, and I'm chasing them off my porch. I feel like I'm so empowered because I've homeschooled these children, and then I see the end product. They're doing well. 4 of them have graduated from college. I have somewhat of a relationship with HBCUs, and trying to get them to see the value in you investing in your people. So I'm very passionate about this, and I look forward to making parents feel like, we can do this. If we have to do it and assist the traditional schools, if we have to do it and assist the teachers, whatever it takes, children deserve it. They deserve a first-class education, and that's what you guys offer. And I'm excited to partner with you and get my board excited as well.
We're excited.
So,
I just want to say to
go ahead.
parents, I just wanted to say to parents out there who are homeschooling, we can see the difference. Once they get here, we can see a difference in what you're doing. Do not stop homeschooling in high school. That's when the rubber meets the road, and these kids are different in all the best ways. And we just want to encourage families to believe in homeschooling and not to give up on it, and to understand at the end of the day, we see a difference. So.
Excellent. Any last words, Angela, to parents? Last words to parents, and then don't forget to give your email addresses and web addresses. Angela?
Joyce, this has been phenomenal. You have just opened up my eyes. All of you just said all the right things. I do have a list of questions, but they're good questions because I want to know more, right? What you've given me is just phenomenal. But just very quickly, I wanted to ask Sheila, When you said, and I appreciate that last point you made, parents, don't stop doing what you're doing. Kind of being a newbie in this arena. My son's in the 6th grade, right? And I'm trying to put together the steps to get him on the right path with this. What do you have for parents to walk them along the journey, to make sure they get the SAT, to make sure, how do you partner with, or what is your strategy to just bring the parents along so we do the right things by the time they graduate?
We really do work with parents. I've started with some parents in 8th grade for their kids preparing for college. And I always tell families, like, start early and then you feel more brave along the way. That's why we have Daniel and our other homeschool counselors around the nation to walk you through that. I anticipate our homeschool counselors growing because of the need. And, you don't have to call one office for a scholarship and call the next for your FAFSA and call the next for your application. We have one counselor, homeschool specific, that gets you guys, that can guide you and encourage you throughout. It is a scary sort of thing, but reaching out to organizations like National Black Home Educators and your local state associations are very knowledgeable and, utilize all their resources. Homeschoolers love to share and give and nurture. It's been so beautiful to watch during this, adventure that we've had in 2020. So just lean on all of your peeps, and then just know that we're here too. And we get you guys, we get what you're going through. We get that you're on one income. We get all of these things. So we're happy to give you, steps along the way. That's why we're here.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
We will definitely come back and have another conversation. But in the meantime, Sheila, we may email some questions to y'all so that we can share those responses to those questions. So in the last, say 2 minutes, Daniel, Donald, or Grace, do you have anything to say to our parents? Okay, you guys are good. So Sheila and I to interpret that they're okay.
Yeah, I would say so, unless they have anything else. We're always here for you guys. So homeschool@gcu.edu. I'm Sheila Jones at gcu.edu. We're all here for you. Yes,
and I'm Joyce Burgess. contact@nbhe.net. Please contact us whenever you need to, whenever you need assistance. Angela, your email address?
ANGI Valentine@gmail.com.
All right. Anyone else want to give their email address?
Yeah, ours is multiculturaloffice@gcu.edu.
Okay. Amazing. This was great. Thank y'all so much. Appreciate it. Okay, we will be back. We will come back. Thank you all for listening to the replay. Have any questions, please email us at the email addresses given a few minutes ago. Have a great day and Merry Christmas, everybody. God bless you all. All right, bye.
Thank you.